What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Profit Playbook DFS. My name is Jaime Hernandez, and today we're focused on week 2 of college football on DraftKings. We've got a loaded slate on Saturday, and today I'll walk you through my favorite plays at quarterback, running back, and wide receiver, plus some GPP darts, stacks, and fades. All of this comes straight from my research, notes, and projections I've gathered for the week, and based off week 1 results. Let's dive right in. Well, before we dive right in, I just wanted to shout out Livingston's from Texas as my value play. Did pretty well. I mean, 2 receptions, right? Went for 47 yards, I believe, and 1 receiving touchdown, which, I mean, he crushed it for that. And also, we had Brown, quarterback, Purdue. He went completely bonkers. Uh, sub $5,500 price tag on that. Amazing. We love to see it, right? So those were my top 2 value plays, and they both crushed. Well, let's get right into it. Let's go ahead and start off with quarterbacks. And I'm going back to him, even though he definitely was a bust last week. His name is the one and only Archie Manning, Texas, coming in at 9,600 on the price tag here. Everyone's giving him something, right? After he underperformed versus Ohio State, saying, "Oh, he's not not what we expected him to be," but just because he's related to the Mannings, that people are going to be giving him chances and all this and that. It's like, no, that's not true at all. He's a beast. And if Texas, if they want to silence the haters, then what better matchup, right? Texas comes in as a massive 37.5-point home favorite against San Jose State with an implied team total of 45 points. That means Vegas expects points and lots of them. Manning is set up to crush, man. He's set up to crush. Once again, like I mentioned, if Texas wants to quiet down those critics about Arch being overrated, this is the week to sling it. He's absolutely a top play and a strong option in all formats, whether that's GPP or cash. He's going to crush these numbers right here. And if you're doing cash, it's kind of hard. Let's say he goes bonkers and you faded him, it's going to be kind of hard to cash in unless you have another elite quarterback here for this slate. But yeah, let's go to another quarterback in that we looked at last week as well. That's via Baylor, Sawyer Robertson. Where are you at, brother? Here he is. And last week he went 27 for 48, 419 yards, 3 touchdowns. He killed it, right? For 29.86 fantasy points at 9,000. This week he is a little bit, not even a little bit, he's definitely less on the salary, 7,700. But that's because it is a massive slate with a lot of talent at the quarterback position. He's once again he's coming off a monster performance against Auburn where he threw for the 419 and 3 touchdowns. This week Baylor is a slight road underdog against SMU with an implied team total of 28.5 points. That tells us this game environment is very fantasy friendly, just like last week's. Robertson is affordable compared to last week, and the passing volume clearly is there. 48 attempts, you know. Um, I mean, if you're looking for a high ceiling mid range quarterback, Robertson is firmly in play. I truly believe that. Maybe he doesn't get you the 29.86, but even if he does at 7,700, I mean, he's crushing it. I do believe minimum 22 plus we should be expecting from him. And then we can go to the SEC, to Florida. Let's go with Mr. Lagway. Where's he at? DJ Lagway. There he is. He's only at 7,200, and he's another guy I'm high on this week. Florida is a big home favorite against USF with a team total of 35 points. Lagway looks sharp in week 1, finishing with 3 passing touchdowns, as you can see there, right? And just a half of work. Of course, it was 55-0 So they didn't need him the whole game. And when healthy, I mean, Lagway is one of the best dual threat quarterbacks in the country. This matchup sets up for 3 to 5 touchdowns for him. And he's priced in a range that makes lineup building easier. He's not priced at 9,000 or 8,500, 7,200. It's a pretty good price for a talent like DJ Lagway. Um, he had 17.1 fantasy points. I'm expecting it to be way more than that this week. The game should be a little closer, of course. Let's see here. And then next up, we can go to my favorite GPP of the slate uh, with the Jayhawks. Come on, buddy. We have Daniels. They're at Missouri. Um, Kansas is a road underdog versus Missouri. But Daniels has been phenomenal start the season, right? 456 passing yards, 7 touchdowns. Let me see here. Uh, I mean, it's not updated fully, but he's been crushing it. 65 rushing yards through 2 games. The competition wasn't elite, right? But his efficiency has been excellent. He's facing tougher competition here. It should be a little bit tougher, but that rushing upside always makes him dangerous. 6,600. Let me see here. At 6,600, Daniels is a fantastic GPP pivot with, like I mentioned, with slate breaking potential. He is my favorite GPP play of the day. And of course, if he connects on the ground and the air like he normally does, you'll be in a great spot. Last week, I mean, it was an amazing week for me, and hopefully, whoever watched my video and stuck through it, you guys had a pretty decent day as well. And then let's go ahead and highlight 2 more quarterbacks. One of them recommending, another one as a straight fade. We will go to, how do you pronounce his name? Quarterback for Missouri. I know we just touched on Kansas, right? Is it Bo Pribula? I would say. Let's see here. Well, anyways, while that loads up, there it is. Yeah, Bo, I would say Bo Pribula, right? I mean, he's a QB1 now. Of course, he won the starting quarterback job after Sam Horn's injury and immediately flashed dual threat ability on week 1. You can see there 10 rushing attempts for 65 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns, and he went for 23 for 28, 283 passing yards, and 2 passing touchdowns as well for 37.82 DraftKings points. He was a beast, of course. It was versus an inferior opponent. But of course, based on his price tag and how bonkers he went week 1, I'm pretty sure he will be highly owned. He will be highly owned, but it's hard to ignore the upside and rushing floor with him. Definitely cash viable and still GPP viable with him. And then, like I mentioned, we're going to one more quarterback here, which I recommended last week, right? Walker. And once again, I struggled a little bit to pronounce his last name. Edget, right? Um, let's see if he decides to pop up. I definitely recommended him last week. For his price tag, 19.62. I mean, it was mid, right? And we're highlighting him again this week. But to fade Walker, fade Walker. I mean, Texas, after week 1, I mean, even though it was a loss versus the national champions, I believe they're going to be out here. They're going to be out here for blood. And poor Walker's gonna get the brunt of the damage there. I wouldn't be paying up for him for 5,700. I mean, I know it's not a lot on the salary, but more likely than not, you're just burning salary at that point. So go ahead and fade Walker from San Jose State. Other quarterbacks that you can go ahead and fade, that at least I would fade, would be Flores, right? Zane Flores. He's going up against Oregon, and I believe Oregon's they're beast defense, offense. I believe they're just gonna come out for blood as well, and that's I wouldn't pay for him. If you do, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be for a late swap desperation on there. and the price tag is not bad, but I would be fading him when there's other value on the slate when it comes to quarterbacks. Well, anyways, with all of that said, let's go ahead and we'll be moving on to the running backs, right? We'll go ahead and start off with Washington, which is another guy. Well, that's not going to work here. I have quarterbacks highlighted. And of course, this is not going to work. But we have Washington here from Baylor. Recommended him last year as a core cash play. He only had 7.6 fantasy points. One of my lowlights of the week last week, of course. I mean, he struggled versus Auburn. Can't say anything else when it comes to that, right? But he did have 20 touches. So the usage is elite. And then, I mean, minimum, I would say we're seeing another 20 total opportunities, right? From him. And Baylor is expected to score points here again. And Washington has upside both in the running game and catching passes. He's definitely pricey, but the workload is there, and he's in play as a great option. Versus SMU, I truly believe he'll definitely go off here. He's my top running back play of the week for cash. Let's see, another guy. Last week I didn't mention him. He went off though. I did play him at a late. I mean, we did the main slate, so he wasn't included in the main slate, I believe. Um, let's see. Juan Lacey, running back, Ole Miss. He had an amazing game with 31.8 fantasy points. Went off for 108 yards on 16 attempts, right? 3 rushing touchdowns. He's not the upside on receptions wasn't there, right? But he can kill you running the ball. And that's what we expect to see again here. They're about 9.5-point road favorites against Kentucky with a 31.5 team total. I would say he is going to be very popular at 5,300, right? But he is one of the top plays on the slate for me, especially in cash, like I mentioned. Another guy that I did mention last week, and he did pretty well for us, is Mr. Hollywood Smothers, NC State. We went ahead and stacked that game with quarterback and running back there. It went pretty well. So Hollywood Smothers, we're going right back to him. This week he's priced at 6,500. Compared to last week, he was a little bit more expensive at 7,000. Regardless, he did pretty good at 20.6 fantasy points, and he wasn't highly owned compared to some stud running backs that underperformed, right? But Smothers, he is definitely the alpha back for North Carolina State. And as you can see here, week 1, he had 26 touches, right? Or 26 opportunities, and total of, 26 touches he had. Yeah, 26 touches. So he had 76 yards rushing, 1 rushing touchdown, 4 receptions, 30 yards. Yeah. And NC State is a small home favorite with 20 plus touches again expected for him. Smothers is definitely a strong mid-range play. If you played him last week at 7,000, why not play him at $500 discount this week at 6,500, right? And from there, we can go ahead and go to the orange to Q's. Syracuse with Willis. We're talking about Willis. Let's go with Willis. Yasin Willis. If this loads up, right? We got UConn at Syracuse. Last week he went off for 27.1 fantasy points. At 23 rushing attempts, 91 yards, 3 rushing touchdowns. Again, no receptions for him, right? Well, I mean, not for him, but just like, there were no receptions for him. Just like Lacey, same with Willis. But Syracuse does have a 35 implied team total, and Willis once again should dominate the touches for the running back room, and he's a red zone guy as well. So that role is golden DFS, right? I mean, touchdowns. That's 6 fantasy points for you. So Yasin Willis, you can go ahead and look at, and we already highlighted Florida at Mr. Lagway. But you can go with Florida running back Mr. Ball, Jaden Ball. Once again, USF, right? Last week he went for 19.4 DraftKings points, 9 attempts, 104 yards, 1 touchdown, no receptions, right? But the Gators are 17.5 point home favorites, and Ball is the lead back, right? I mean, he only had 9 attempts, but they did blow the lights out of that team last week. He's got a clear chance at 100 yards and 1 or 2 touchdowns, and at 6,200. I mean, he's another core player in all formats. Cash, GPP, you name it, right? Well, let's go to the GPP side on this right here. You can go ahead and the Kentucky running backs, they're interesting. They are underdogs for Ole Miss, like I highlighted. But both running backs, I mean, they got a lot of action week one. So I would say they're both in play for some GPP lineups there if you want to differentiate yourself. Um, Let me see here. Where these guys at? Well, anyways, you get the hang of it. Kentucky, I just seen them right here. Where's Kentucky? There you go. Let's see here. No, where did Kentucky go, bro? There they are. Wow. Wow. Like I'm blinder than a cat with no eyes. Well, anyways, you got the point. I would say UK running backs, you can go ahead and go with, right? When it comes to Dottle here and McGowan at 3,400. I mean, he's a great GPP play, I would say. 13.8 fantasy points, right? 22.8. Yeah, you can. Those are pretty good salary savers there as GPPs, right? But anyways, let's go to the wide receivers. Something's not working for me, and then that's this lagging when I type, right? So let's just go ahead and go straight to Baylor, if that works. Hmm. Well, anyways, on the Baylor game, Mr. Robertson, he threw for 419 yards last week, like I mentioned. And this passing attack is very stackable, right? You can go ahead and do Cole Wilson if he ever decides to show up on the screen, which he probably will, he probably won't. No, no, they're not. Why is Kent highlighted again? That's why I can't find him. So with Baylor, no wonder, right? Let's see here. Do I have the right team this time? Bro, get out of here. There we go. There we go. What in the world is going on here? Wow. I went from bad to worse. Wow. Brother. I went from bad to worse. But anyways, for the Baylor wide receivers, I do apologize for that. Let's try one more time. Well, we got technical. There we go. There we go. Oh my goodness, Yvette. So we have Cole Wilson here. Very stackable, right? With Robertson, he went off for 24.4 fantasy points last week. They should go off again. And then you can go ahead and look at Trigg here. Also 22.9 fantasy points. The pricing is there. I mean, that's a perfect stack for this week, man. I mean, the pricing is there. If you don't want to go with Trigg or Wilson, you can look at Cameron. You can look at Hawkins, right? So I mean, you would expect for them to get a little bit more run, but I mean, what Wilson and Trigg did, I would say maybe for their pricing, and they alternate what Cameron and Hawkins did, you'll still be in a good position, right? And then we can go ahead and switch off from that to go to the Kansas game. Let's see here. You know what? You can go ahead and do Kansas. Emmanuel Henderson Jr., right? He's an emergency. He's emerging as a WR1. Excuse me. He's got 9 catches for 154 yards already, and he's running those. He's running the most routes out of any Kansas wide receivers, and at 5,300, he's a great GPP play, right? We already mentioned. Uh, Jalen Daniels. So I mean, yeah, go with Emmanuel Henderson Jr. I mean, he's a great play, and if you want to go with Cam Pickett, at 5,000, he's found the end zone already. He'll be a good play as well if you want to stack that up. And then I don't know why this didn't click right here, but Anderson, right? Let's see, they only have week 1 there, of course, right? Let's see. What else did I mention here? I thought I mentioned Pickett, right? Yeah, I mentioned Pickett as well. He's a good play. And then let's see, you can go to Oklahoma State. Like I did mention, fade the quarterback, right? I mean they're in a tough spot, but if you wanted to go with Mr. Let's see here. Let's see if this works. Boom. But you can definitely go Oklahoma State, Terrell Davis at 4,700 and Gavin Freeman at 3,900. They're cheap bringback options in Oregon stacks, and both are GPP plays with decent volume. I do apologize that I'm not showing that here. I don't know what happened to my computer, which I feel like it killed everything on there. But you can also go ahead and put Texas wide receivers on there, especially my favorite play of last week, Parker Livingston at just 3,500. He's going to be my value play of the week once again, but this time I believe he's gonna smash over 100 yards and a touchdown. I'm calling it right here. Pair him up with Archie Manning, and you can also go ahead and put Ryan Wingo there. I mean, he's the big name, right? He's also a great GPP play, and that's all we're really I'm sorry, that's all we're really highlighting. Yeah, so that's my full week 2 breakdown for college football DFS on DraftKings, quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers. Like I mentioned, this is all based on research, right? We dig in we look at games, right? Film, all that, right? I mean, if you're going to be in DFS, you want to make sure that you're confident with the plays that you give out or the plays that you play. You want to make sure you're cashing in every single week. Most importantly, payroll. Stick to cash, 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 cash. Maybe 1 or 2 consoles of GPPs, but make them small. But yeah, I mean, like I mentioned, core quarterbacks here are Arch Manning, DJ Lagway, and Sawyer Robertson. Running backs, K'Wan Lacey, Yasiel Willis, Jaden Baugh, right? And my favorite, which was Washington. I believe he bounces back this week. Wide receivers, you can go with Cole Wilson, Ryan Wingo, and Eugene Wilson. Did I mention Eugene Wilson? No, well, Eugene Wilson, Florida. Go ahead and have him on there. He's a fantastic play. Eugene Wilson from Florida, wide receiver, and my favorite value play of the slate, Parker Livingstone, Texas. Okay, but there you have it. If you're going with a GPP quarterback, Jalen Daniels, or Kentucky running backs, right? But that's it. If this was helpful, I mean, I know I'm feeling a little bit under the weather. My internet was acting up. But if this was helpful, please make sure to like, subscribe, and drop your favorite quarterback stack in the comments. Good luck in week 2. Let's go and win some money. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.